Now I do like to let my tea sit for like 15 minutes before I do drink it. And I know it's a little bit noisy because of the washing machine, but I wanted to show this package. It came with a cute little note. So of course I got a restock on my salicylic acid body wash, the same as my salicylic acid body spray. And I'm so happy they sent me this because I've actually been out on this for like 2 to 3 weeks now, and I've gone to Target about 3 or 4 times, and every time I've gone they didn't have any. And I was gonna order it from Amazon, but I wanted to keep having hope that I can get it in store, and they ended up sending me this last week on Thursday or Friday, I believe. So now I don't have to worry about restocking in the store anymore. Hopefully though, once I'm out of this one, the next time I go, they do have more for me to restock on. They did send me 2 of these smaller oil wash and the glycolic wash, which I don't use the glycolic one. I may try it now that I have this option. I'm gonna use this to refill the bottle that I already have. Then I did get the KP body scrub and a mask, which I also haven't used since I'm not in too much of a need for this, but I definitely do think to experiment with it. They sent over the Glow Getter body oil, which I'm honestly really excited for since I do love the Glow Getter body wash and body butter. And it's a glass bottle, so I can reuse it for other things. Then they did send over another Glow Getter body butter, which is great because I'm gonna need more soon, and the scrub. Now, if you've heard me mention it before, I'm not a fan of body scrubs at all, which is why I've never bought this before. But now that I have it since they sent it, I'm gonna give it a try, just because I can, but I've just never purchased this because I'm not a fan of this type of product for the skin, but I'm still gonna experiment with it. Now while my tea sits here and settles a little bit, we're gonna go ahead and do this oil treatment on my hair, so I will see you all in the bathroom. Okay, so I also just changed into normal clothes that will probably be what I wear to go outside. So the first oil that I'm going in with is Mielle Rosemary. I use this really only on my scalp. Now I go in next with some of this Botana oil by Palmer's. This I'm also going to use for my scalp, but not only in the center and the hairline, but also in like the sides as well. And then like I said, I do put some on the sides, so I just pump it into my hand and then just run it on the sides right here. The next oil to go in with is my jojoba oil. I'm glad they started making these in bigger bottles because maybe they always have, but in the past I've only been able to find them in the really teeny tiny version of this bottle. Okay, now that I've got oil in all of my hair, the last thing that I do like to apply, Blue Magic. Now I do save this part for last, and I just kind of massage my scalp a little bit. So this has become my new designated oil hair clip. It's a little butterfly, and I'm not gonna do a middle part. I'm just gonna comb it all back, and that's all I do to have it like tied. So I have a change and I want to do some skincare. I need to first wash my face. As always, I'm going to use my Youth to the People Superfood Cleanser. You know, I completely forgot I do have tea in the kitchen still that I haven't drank, and it's definitely been over those 15 minutes. I'm gonna emulsify and wash this all off. Okay, so I got my tea. According to my timing, it's actually been 30 minutes since I made that tea. I did spray some hypochlorous acid on my face right when I finished washing it before I went to get my tea. I do first want to put on my lip balm. I have really been liking Naturium's Fido Balm. I've just been on a Naturium kick lately. Now I would be going in first with my toner pads, but it is Monday, so today is one of the days out of the week where I use my AirShot mode on my Booster Pro. I feel like this angle just gives more space for the camera. I really want to get another camera or maybe another lens that's like wider. AirShot mode. Booster mode. I've definitely learned my lesson with AirShot mode and not letting it come into too much contact with my skin. Now the toner pads I've been using in the daytime are these Mung Bean toner pads by Beplane, and I only need one because they are pretty well soaked. While this is soaking, I'm gonna get the rest of the stuff that I'm gonna use. I think for serum this morning, I'm gonna go back in with Torridon. I did just put this on early this morning. I think I want to put on another layer now. I'm also going to go in with my dark spot correcting glow serum from Access Y, and I think just the Anua sunscreen. I'm also gonna use this sunscreen for my neck area. I am wearing a full long sleeve shirt and leggings, so none of my other skin is exposed. I really do love this Dive-In serum by Torridon. My laundry also did just finish, so I'm gonna need to swap that when I get back into the living room. And I think I mentioned this before with serums, they're actually like meant to be layered. So when I'm putting on my serum, I do 3 layers, one concentrating more on the bottom half, one concentrating more on the top half, and then now the 3rd layer covering everything. Okay, now that I have that on, my skin is feeling very hydrated. I'm gonna give it a second to kind of sit. Actually, what am I thinking? It's time to do booster mode. And I like doing booster mode now to help my skin better absorb the hydration from that serum and then prep and open it, since I am going in next with a brightening dark spot correcting product. So those are more effective when your skin is more open, which is exactly what booster mode does. Okay, so now for my Access White Dark Spot Correcting Serum, I'm gonna apply this onto the major areas, then rub it in. Excess, I kind of just put it around my whole face. So right down here, I do have an area that's almost entirely clear already. Then I do have this new area right here. I have this little spot right here. And then up here. And then a little bit on my forehead. On the sides of the nose and a little bit my under eyes. Okay, now I'm gonna let this sit for a second before I go in with the sunscreen. Now for sunscreen, like I mentioned, I'm using Anua Zero Cast. I really like this sunscreen for the daytime. This, oh, like that. Okay, so I reset my laundry. I don't plan to really do too much to my face. I'm not really doing a full face or really much makeup at all. I just want to lay my eyebrows down, put some mascara on, and then a little bit of product I have to spot conceal and do my under eyes. I think I am going to do a little ab workout and yoga either on my balcony or in the living room right in front of the balcony depending on how outside feels. And then I want to go walk over to the pool, sit by there. I think while I'm there, I do want to plan out the video for this week. Oh, I also need to prep that steak for dinner tonight. Okay, my eyebrows are somewhat in place now. I like using this priming stick by e.l.f. on days where I'm not doing really much makeup, but of course I don't want to put makeup directly onto my skin, so I'm really only going to put this in areas where I'm going to add, I know this is a foundation, the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation, but I've actually been liking this as like a spot concealer slash under eye thing on days I don't want to wear makeup. So I put some on my chin. I'm gonna do the side of my mouth and then wherever I plan to spot concealer. Now I'm gonna let the primer sit for like 2 seconds. I'm only gonna wear 2 of my mascaras today instead of my usual 3. Going in first with Maybelline Falsies Surreal, then Wet n Wild Breakup Proof. So the way that I go about putting this on, that I got this little beauty blender that I pretty much dedicated to this now. I mean, it's older, so it has a few little things on it, but I don't really ever use this, so now I only use this when I'm doing this. I put some of it on to the beauty blender, like, and then I go first by dapping this onto the areas that I want to cover. So, and I just keep adding more as much as I need until I have like every area covered. And then always some under my nose. And then I do 3 dots on each of my under eyes, maybe 4. I'm gonna do 4 today. I am gonna spray some setting spray just to help it melt and blend, but I'm not gonna really let it sit for too long. It doesn't need to really sit and set for too long. And for setting spray, I use the Milani Make It Last. And I'm just gonna go ahead and blend everything out. And I always save my under eyes for last so that it has the most time to really sit and settle there for the most coverage. And I always blend a little bit of my eyelid as well. And then for lips, I'm not gonna do anything, just leave the Naturium balm that I have on. I'm gonna get any little product that could have gotten on my lips. But that's literally all that I do. I love it because it's not like a huge dramatic difference. It doesn't really look like I have makeup on. It kind of just wakes my face up a little bit and it appears much more even in tone. But now that I have all this on, I did my oil treatment, I do want to go to the kitchen, get some food together so I can eat. I think I want to eat some eggs, bacon, and an English muffin or 2. And then after that, we'll go ahead and do a little yoga workout, a little ab workout, and then go lay out by the pool. I'm kind of indecisive on if I want to put shorts on or remain in the outfit that I have on. I might look like a little bit of a maniac by the pool in a black long sleeve and black leggings, but this is really thin steak too, which I think is gonna be perfect for these sandwiches. And then whatever I have left, I'll probably make with rice and onions another day or something. Like, or I can make pepper steak. One thing I did forget to grab from the store to marinate this with was an orange, but I'm just gonna have to be without the orange today. It's not an absolute need, it just makes it a little bit better. I also don't have any onion powder, but I do have garlic salt. I'm gonna use the garlic salt instead of garlic powder, so I don't have to add salt. Going in first with some oil. I really need to invest in one of those like squeezers for limes and lemons, so I don't have to do it by hand. There's so many like little kitchen utensils and like gadgets that I need, but every time I leave my house I forget that I need them. Like, I do like seasoning my chicken with limes. I wouldn't usually season my steak with lime, but because of what I'm making today, this would be a really nice touch on the flavor. It would be better if I had an orange, but I don't, so I'm gonna have to be without the orange today. Okay. I like seasoning meat, or I like marinating meat in here because I can just do this to mix it together. First thing I'm gonna go in with is some sazon completo. Ooh. Then the garlic salt. I know this is new, so it still has the seal on it. Then of course pepper. I feel like you can't make any sort of beef without pepper. And then I already had a bottle open of adobo, just a little bit of this. And then kind of shake it up. That's good and seasoned. Now I'm gonna leave this in the fridge. I'll probably cook around 5:45, 6-ish today. I'll cut up the potatoes and everything later before I start cooking so that the potatoes can cook. I think I'm gonna air fry them, and that can be working while I'm cooking the meat and putting the sandwiches together. Okay, so I do want to leave now. I did decide to put on a tank top because it is really hot outside, and I don't really want to wear the long sleeve. And because I'm not going to the gym, I'm not too worried about like too much sweat from my hair products running down my skin. But because I'm wearing a tank top, I do need to put on SPF now and moisturizer. I don't want to put on too much. I'll probably be back in here to shower and do my routine in the next like 2 or 3 hours. So instead of a thick moisturizer, I'm gonna put on my Vaseline body spray. This is definitely like a better option. And I'm still wearing leggings, so not too much needed there. But I did go hygiene shopping. Well, not like intensively shopping, just to get a few things I needed yesterday. But in doing that, I did buy this Vacation sunscreen spray. I've really been liking their sunscreen whip. So when I saw this, I had pretty high hopes. So I'm gonna try it out now. I wanna see how it applies and how it looks in the skin, and then how it how my skin reacts to it over time, and then how it works out in the sun. But this is an SPF 50, and it's just their classic sunscreen, just in a spray form instead of the whip or cream. It also says it contains coconut, banana, and aloe. So that's cool. I didn't expect it to spray that much. As I expected, it does smell the exact same as the whip does. So I'm gonna just assume it's the same formula. I really hope my chest reacts well to this. You know, it can be very sensitive here, but I do need SPF. It does leave a nice finish. Let's hope it protects well. I'm going in with Degree Black and White. Now I know I said that while I was out there, I wanted to work on the script for my video, but I can really do that later on. I'm forgetting today's supposed to be like a low to no media day. So I wanna actually just sit there and be at peace. I'm thinking of bringing my book with me. I did grab the Mastery book, but I think I want to bring my other book that's more fictional. Yeah, so I'm gonna bring my Never Lie instead. I do like this author, Freida McFadden, for fictional books. So for my bag today, I actually got a really big PR package last week from Frenchay, and in that package they sent me this cute little tote bag. It's like a canvas bag, so I think the quality will last me well for a long time. I'm gonna bring my book, of course. I don't really want heavy fragrancing today, so I'm gonna go in with Bath & Body Works Ooh the Coconut today. And I am gonna bring my sunscreen in case I'm out there longer than I expect and need to reapply. I always bring a hand cream with me. Then I'm bringing my Tower 28 hydrating mist for my face. I like to always have the antibacterial one and then hydrating mist. And of course my Naturium. The rest of the things will all be in the living room. Let's move over there and grab the last few things that I'll need. Okay, so I'm gonna bring my camera charger. Even though I don't think there's anywhere to really charge my camera over there, I'm gonna bring it just in case. My little clutch that I always have with me. I'm gonna take my keys out of it now and my AirPods as well. I really need to invest in a pair of sunglasses because I just know that the sun is gonna really irritate my eyes today. Maybe I might have some in this drawer. Okay, these are the only ones that I have. I'm not really a big fan of these, but I think the protection of my eyes matters more. I don't really like round glasses on me, but these might have to do. And they have a little red tint in them as well, which I do like. So, and they were just thrown there, so I don't, if they do have a casing, which they should, I don't know where the casing is. But last thing I do want to put together before leaving is my water bottle. I want to fill that up, and I was gonna bring some fruit with me, but I just don't feel hungry, and I don't see myself feeling hungry while I'm out there. If I do get hungry, I can always just eat fruit when I get home. I don't really see use in bringing fruit with me. I also added some sunscreen to my back when I came out here because I realized I didn't put any on my back while I was in the restroom. I'm gonna take my camera off this tripod and head out the door. Okay, so I'm back home now. I just got out of the shower, did all of my body care, and it's now time to do my facial, which, like I said, I did switch up my routine. Less steps now, I would say. I also did get these new dermaplaning razors. I was trying to find the like professional medical grade ones online because I found out you can only get them from online. You can't really find those in stores anywhere. But then also online, I couldn't find the exact ones that I want. So I found these at Target. I do like this brand Flamingo for the regular straight razors. And they had the regular straight ones and they had the dermaplaning ones. So I grabbed the dermaplaning ones. I thought it was gonna come with multiple, but it comes with one and then you can change out the blades. So I guess I can make use of this. I also have switched up something else. I used to dermaplane with aloe and I realized it's not really ideal for my skin, so I'm going to use an oil today, the same cleansing oil that I've been using on my skin for the past few weeks, which is the Skin 1004 Centella Light Cleansing Oil. And I did double cleanse my skin in the shower, and when I got out I sprayed hypochlorous acid spray like I always do, so I'm not really in any way worried about there being any bacteria on my face. I haven't dermaplaned in like a month. This razor feels much different than using like those eyebrow razors. I would say that the only thing with using the cleansing oil, it's a bit harder to hold on to the skin. Okay, not too bad, not too much gunk coming off of my skin. I know I mentioned this blade feels different on the skin, but I genuinely really like how it feels on the skin. It doesn't feel like I'm using a blade at all. I'm gonna actually wash this because with the oil, I got all over the thing. This blade was definitely a good purchase. I think I found my new favorites for dermaplaning, and I have another cartridge here to replace. I think I'm gonna keep it in the case too, just to make sure nothing happens to it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and wash this off and then wash my face again with the Youth of the People cleanser that I used this morning. My skin feels great and super refreshed. In the past, I would have followed that with a baking soda cleanse instead of the cleanser I just used, and I'm kind of frustrated it took me so long to realize how damaging that baking soda cleanse was for my skin. Now that I know, of course, I won't do it again, but I can definitely feel a very big difference how my skin feels now after dermaplaning versus before. Of course, I just went on again with my Naturium lip balm. Now, all I'm gonna do to hydrate my skin is put on these two moisturizers. In the past, I would put these serums on from The Ordinary, which two of them were fine to use, but well, one of them was fine to use after this or a little bit after, but once you dermaplane, you have to be really careful with any actives or any acids at all being on your skin. And me having sensitive skin, it's better to just avoid any acids at all. So instead, I'm gonna go in first with this soothing cream by Skin 1004. This is their Centella Soothing Cream, and this is gonna help kind of calm my skin down if there is any irritation and just bring some moisture and relief to my skin. All right, I have a good layer of that on, and this is fairly thick, so I'm gonna give it a second to really sit on my skin before following with my second moisturizer. It feels quite a bit tacky and fairly absorbed, so I'm gonna follow with the Naturium Multi-Peptide Moisturizer, and this actually contains vitamin C and panthenol as well. Okay, and that is my new weekly facial routine. Less is definitely going to be more. I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands and then apply some moisturizing products to my curls. Either I may leave my hair out or I might just tie it back or braid it back. I'm gonna see how it looks once I'm done putting all of my products in it. And then after that, it is time to go ahead and make dinner.